Today we're talking about bunnies. Hippity hoppity murderous little bunnies in professional wrestling. Now, I don't think they murdered anyone in professional wrestling yet, but they will, because bunnies are inherently evil. Now, the first bunny is, of course, the Easter Bunny. He wrestled very briefly in WWE, appearing in the APA Barroom Brawl in 2003. He was drinking beer, joking around. Bradshaw beat the crap out of him, threw him through a glass pane. All normal things the Easter Bunny does. At least normal things I want the Easter Bunny to do, because I don't like the Easter Bunny. Now, of course, then there's Bad Bunny, who wrestled a few times and is a rapper, R&B artist. I don't know who Bad Bunny is, so I know he wrestled a few times. He's a friend of Ric Flair's, too. And then there was Kevin Sullivan's dyslexic brother, Dave, also known as Evad. He was given a pet bunny, who he carried to the ring with him. Until, I don't remember if he got, something happened. I didn't do a lot of, Evad was a big fan of Hulk Hogan. And Kevin Sullivan wasn't, but eventually Kevin Sullivan and Evad got written off TV. And then there was, of course, Paul London and his tribe, who followed the White Bunny in Lucha Underground. Now, Paul London, we may remember from WWE, where he's most famous for laughing in a serious Vince McMahon segment. In Lucha Underground, he reinvented himself and did probably the best work of his career as the Mad Hatter Paul London, where he led a group which was led by the White Rabbit. Now remember, this was during the time the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland films were popular. The White Rabbit was later played by Karrion Kross of WWE fame, before he was Karrion Kross. It was weird. Paul London kind of wrestled in like 1800s pajamas. He said really weird messages. It was odd. And some of the stuff in Lucha Underground was odd anyways. But I thoroughly enjoyed Lucha Underground. A few times I watched it. I was off work in the evening and watched it. So I'm not disrespecting Lucha Underground. I enjoyed it. But I was working in the evenings at the time, and I didn't always get to watch it. And then there was Adam Rose and his bunny friend, played by Justin Gabriel. Now, I have to explain this one because 90% of you won't remember Adam Rose and how this came to be. Adam Rose wrestled for WWE. His gimmick was that he liked to party and that he liked to party. He came out with a group of people called the Rosebuds who danced with him in like a conga line. And this was his gimmick. And then he got what was supposedly a bus. I think it was actually shot backstage somewhere, where he introduced you to a few of his friends, including a little person, I'm not sure if it was a dwarf or a midget, and a guy in a bunny costume. And these people minus the little person, because apparently they could only rent him out for a day, including the guy with the bunny, and the guy with the bunny costume would come out with these people in his matches and dance and celebrate. Well, eventually, the guy in the bunny costume, who was being played by Justin Gabriel, who was a wrestler in WWE at the time, known for his time with the Nexus, got involved in matches. And so Adam Rose started doing tag team matches with the guy in the bunny costume. Now, for those of you who don't remember Justin Gabriel, his name on the independent circuit now is PJ Black, so that may have a few of you know who he is. He is incredibly athletic. He is a high flyer and could do amazing things in the bunny costume that even showed up Adam Rose. And Adam Rose eventually got mad and would beat him up and then apologize the next week and take him back. This went on for months. Until Adam Rose eventually just beat up the guy in the bunny costume, then beat up the guy in the hot dog costume who was following him, and got rid of the rosebuds and turned heel. Then the bunny appeared in a black bunny costume because apparently they were watching I don't even remember the name of that movie. I've had a rough day, people. I don't remember the name of that. Donnie Darko. But then the bunny disappeared because Justin Gabriel asked for his release. Because he was never used correctly. And being put in the bunny costume was probably the last straw. Adam Rose would go on to do nothing major and would later go on to the independent circuit. I didn't see what his name was, but he really wasn't anything big. The final bunny is the Bunny, played by Allie, who on the independent scene and in TNA, she was known as the sweet, innocent girl, Allie. But in AEW, when she first signed, she wrestled as the sweet, innocent Allie initially. But then something changed. She got darker, more menacing, more angry, more mean. And she joined the Butcher and the Blade being her real life husband, and became the Bunny. And she just started whooping ass. And she became rather famous as the Bunny. Now, she did shoot back to Allie, the sweet, innocent Allie, at times, and was a face, but she'd always go back to the Bunny. Now, what she says in interviews is that she liked playing the Bunny. But after she took time off in 2023, after she left AEW, she did not realize she was in chronic pain until she healed and realized, hey, she was in chronic pain. She did, however, like those hardcore matches when she was bleeding because it reminded her of horror movies, which she digs. She now hosts a podcast, which I don't remember the name of. So just look up Allie, just go on Twitter and go at Allie Wrestling and follow her there, and I'm sure she'll mention her podcast at some point. So those are the famous bunnies in wrestling. I recommend looking up all their matches, except maybe Bad Bunnies, because the older I get, the more I am against celebrities in wrestling. Now, this is a rant, so you guys can tune this off if you want to. But the older I get, the more I am against celebrities in wrestling. Not because celebrities shouldn't be in wrestling. It's how celebrities are treated in wrestling. Now, back in the 80s and 90s when celebrities wrestled, they pretty much just got their ass kicked, tagged in their partner, who was a wrestler, and a partner came in and kicked ass unless it's shown them training, like it did with Mr. T in WrestleMania 1. Now, nowadays, it doesn't really show them training. They just go, oh, he's been training during the match, and that's how they're able to do all these freaking wrestling stunts and look all great. But they should still just get in there and get their ass kicked. They're against professional athletes. But instead, they make them look all good and great when they wrestle, and that's why I'm against celebrities in wrestling. They should just go in there, get their ass kicked, and tag their partner. Celebrities should not be made to look like they can legitimately stand against professional athletes. I mean, just look at the Andy Kaufman Jerry Lawler feud. Andy Kaufman could never stand up against Jerry Lawler. He eventually had to hire a wrestler and get Jimmy Hart involved to beat up Lawler. Sorry, that was a little rant. So join me later this week when we double down on Bunnies with Easter Bloody Easter. I think there's a bunny in it. I don't know, but it's an Easter movie.